Hello and welcome back. You're listening to Let's Drone Out. There is no longer, unfortunately, any Stephen. For any of you that are upset about that, our deepest condolences. Any of you that can stand Stephen, welcome back. Unfortunately, I'm still here. Even worse, Tony's still here. And thank God Frank's here.
I don't know about that. It's more of a Franksicle at the moment.
I know.
I'm Carl.
Cole looks nice and toasty over in Canada.
Yeah,
warm climate.
Someone who's bred for this cold climate, my buddy Carl. How you doing? We can't hear you.
Mate. I'm going to take this off now. I mean, it is cold, but I'll just put the heating on if I don't know what that
photo is. But...
Yeah, at the weekend, the event I went to, everyone was in their thick winter jackets. Some people even had their gloves on, hats on. Like it was like standing around, crowding around a little fire, just to be like, why are we doing this? Why are we in the middle of a field in 10 degrees?
Check.
Hello,
check.
Hi, guys. Are you guys frozen or what?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting highs of like 10, 11, 12 degrees. Like overnight, it's like single digit temperatures.
My heating comes on every morning. It's June.
That is very weird.
I think we're just getting dragged down. We're just getting loads of lows dragged. Just keep going, getting pulled down straight across England. North, west now because it's wet. It was north earlier in the week because it was cold, but now it's a bit of both.
Yeah, we're not getting the jet stream. We're not getting like warmth from Spain.
Well, the jet stream normally at this time of year, I haven't actually looked at what it's doing, but it's normally up above Scotland, so it gets out of the way. But when we get crappy wet and cold weather, it does this loop across England like that and just keeps dragging it down. So I'm presuming it is the jet stream doing this because by this time of year, as I say, it's gone up above Scotland, but it's been crap since October, the weather has, really.
It's been crap since about 2022.
Yeah, as soon as COVID finished or whatever, it's...
I think since Cole left, I think that was the last time we had, like, summer.
Oh, man. Yeah, don't remind me. It has been too long since I've been to the UK. That's crazy how fast time goes, though.
Yeah. How was it at Popham? What was the weather like there?
In and out. It was boiling hot for 3 minutes, and then it would cloud over for 30 minutes, and then you'd go and put a jacket on, and then it would come out again for another 5 minutes, and then you're boiling, and then it would cloud over, and then you're freezing again. So basically like that. And then in the evening, it clears up, and then it's all right. But I was over there this Saturday. So.
I saw you had your tech support on standby.
The tech support was teching away because, I didn't really have any success, not at all. I mean, not even flying. Took both X classes and had problems with both.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I done 1.5 laps. And then she fell out of the sky, which I thought was a battery issue because I was punching the throttle and it was going towards the ground more and more and more.
Whoa.
So it was just like that. And then, of course, when it landed, it just... So, yeah, it felt weird. It felt all right, and then it done a little weird glitchy thing, and Jack was like, that's wind. wind, and I was like, I don't know, is that wind or not? And then I come around the corner, booting it towards the finish line, and it just. But like we said, we tested the battery. The battery was 86% on both cell on all all the way through, and the C rating and all that it was all fine. So something else happened. Anyway, Jack said he wanted to rebuild it because I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm quitting. I'm just gonna. I'm going home. I can't be bothered.
Well, yeah, that'd be super demotivating. Like you go all the way there, you bring both your X-Class, and they're just shit in the bed. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so that was the first one. This was the old school Thor frame. Anyway, Jack said, I'm going to rebuild it because I want to chase you with it or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, because I was literally just going to hang it on the wall with its arm hanging off and just leave it forever. Because, I mean, I brought them down and they were dusty as anything when I first got there. They were so dusty. So, I was just like, I'm not in the mood. I don't, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
Really peed me off. But then Jack just sat there and rebuilt it within about an hour.
Did it fly again after, or?
No, this is the thing. So, what has happened to my... Have I disappeared?
You have
Hello?
disappeared.
No video.
My camera's just turned itself off. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. It's done
The
this
FBI is
last week,
closing in on you.
right at the end.
It's the X-Class demons. The
It's
X-Class.
just me. I just touch things and they break.
It's the CAA. They've come to you for doing Gatwick.
Right, I'm going to carry on the story, even though you can't see me.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
So, Jack rebuilt it, and then we got it going, and it would arm and spin all four motors in arm, and then put any other action in, like throttle or anything, didn't do a thing. So I have no idea what the hell was going on with it. I still don't know. I mean, something's happened on the way round. If it wasn't the battery, the flight controller may have give up. I don't know, but it, like I said, it's still armed, which was very weird.
And the last time you flew it, it flew?
Yeah, and it flew nice. But
That's
that was
weird.
probably a year ago, so I know things go wrong if you don't use them, weirdly.
Is that Is that a thing? Like if you don't fly your quad, it's just gonna stop working
Well,
properly?
I know it happens to cars but they've got more moving parts. But I don't know, it was weird. So then I thought, I was like, right, let's go 12S and got the new quad out. Done half a lap with that, and it done a forward flip on its own while I was going around the bend.
On 12S?
Yeah, but I was poodling around at this point. I was like going so slow. Yeah, it was ridiculous. And that done a flump for it, and I was just like, right, this is a sign that I'm only here for Saturday, and then I'm going home. I did pack stuff to camp, but yeah, that was it. Really,
Not a fun outcome then.
No, I don't think I would have got. I think I would have placed third or fourth anyway. The Clive, who's in the chat, Clive FPV, he was so fast. He's literally upped his game. So he was fast, and oh god, I keep saying chimpanzee. It's not. It's orangutan. Orangutan FPV was. I think he ended up doing 14-second laps.
Wow.
So, and I
Is
think
that quick?
very quick, which was about, I think we worked out to be 65 mile an hour average speed around the track. So it's pretty quick. So I don't think I would have placed first anyway. Second, no, maybe third. I think Martin Rye, old Fossil Stuff, got third. So he beat me. So yeah, you can. But it was nice to see everyone. It was nice to spend the time with Jack and see other people I haven't seen, Stubbsy and other lads, David, and yeah, it was nice doing all that bit and seeing fossils and stuff. But yeah, after the disaster, I was like, right, no more.
Yeah, that would probably kill the excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, ugh, damn this hobby. Right, I'm going to mute myself and try to turn my camera back on. So I'll see
Jack's
you in a minute.
back, but he is muted.
I think the biggest problem for you, Tone, is you've, like you said, you haven't been flying, you haven't really sort of like been out and tested everything. And I think it's got to a point where, you know, your gear's kind of like aged out and you don't know where you are with, you know, some of your models. And there has been like too many changes instead of just making one change. You know, so you can't really sort of like narrow down what exactly the problem is. You know, you flew the like your long range and that fell out of the sky, but you think that's a battery problem, but we don't know whether it's a transmitter problem. And yeah, it's all these like little gremlins that have got to be kind of bashed out of everything and chased out. And
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I don't know whether I can be bothered as well.
Yeah.
That's another problem.
Yeah,
It's
it's almost
being bothered.
it's
to do
almost
it.
like you got to fly a model, like, you know, a normal like 5-inch model a good couple of times and go, yep, that works, and then try and fix one of the X classes and figure out whether that works,
Yeah,
and then go from there.
yeah, because it still could be the Tyrannus.
Yeah,
Because I had problem, fell out of the sky, looked from a quad for 4 hours. That I'm pretty sure that was battery because it literally turned off. Clive gave me another battery, which seemed to be working, but is it something else glitching with the Tyrannus? Don't know.
Well,
I mean, why would the X
Tyrannus,
class arm and then not spin up anymore than
yeah,
that?
my old Tyrannus that I lost faith in, like it was nothing particularly wrong with it when I left it, but I was just like, I'd had a couple of weird glitches that I couldn't put down to anything else, and so that was why I bought the Radio Master and took the Tyrannus to EMF to run on a simulator, so people could just have a go, and it was wigging out on the simulator. It was like just doing weird stuff, and we had to just give up on that one and grab another radio. Someone else just sort of lent their radio as the simulator radio. Yeah, it's not comfortable when you can't trust your kit like that.
yeah. I mean, you know, I think it is a testimony to like something that like Cole didn't quite understand. Was, you know, it was like trying to explain to you, because it was like all of Cole's gear was like known, tested, working, your first two quads.
Yep.
And everything else was pretty much secondhand, pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to worry. And I think that me and Tony have definitely are so far deep into the hobby through years and have had like quite substantial times out when we kind of come back to it to like de-rust some of that stuff we've put away and we've kind of forgotten. And it's a real sort of like, I can't remember who it was. I think it might be Painless or someone. They've got like a flag system where if there's something not quite right with a model, They put a bit of red tape on it, and
Mm.
then a post-it note that goes with that. And it, like I think they got like a book or something, like a little notebook. And I write down what the problem is, what they think it is.
Mm.
And,
A log. I think that's what that would be. Sounds like
yeah,
it would be a log.
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't think, it's almost like we have to go out with just one model and try and get like the basic thing to work. And I think the problem is with the X class is when you're when you crash, it costs you a lot of money.
Mm.
Because they're so big, it's a lot of weight and a lot of inertia, and stuff inevitably gets damaged. So then you're almost making more work for yourself. And I love the cats, by the way.
Yeah, I just put this thing together, and apparently it is already cat approved.
Oh,
How
Sorry, guys.
unusual.
it came in.
It's like it's a cat toy that the cat is playing with as intended. That's
As soon as it's put together, too.
the box is ignored and the cat toy is used.
One is in the box.
There is a cat in the
Oh,
box.
there is a cat in the box.
Yeah.
Is it dead or is it alive?
Both.
Schrodinger's. But yeah, I just,
Yeah, I know what you
think
mean, Jack. Because sorry to interrupt, but like there was people turning up with HD Zero stuff, and they could see the even though it was rope going down, through the big gates, they could see that whereas I was putting my old fat sharks on from 1971 and going like this. Yeah, I can see all right.
The sky's the bright bit, right?
Yeah, but that an old camera, that old big camera, people would take the piss out of my camera. I think Clive walked over and said, "What's that fucking thing?"
What,
big
full
massive
size?
camera. Yeah, big camera on there.
You swore, editor.
Sorry, I saw that.
Tony's in the naughty chair.
So yeah, I know what you mean. Coming back to
I think you need to pick the most reliable. Like, if you were like someone had a gun to your head and was like, for the next 6 months, you can only fly and maintain one model. You're gonna have to pick like a small 5-inch that you're gonna just basically, no matter what, get working. Whether that's spend a bit of money or something, and then just fly that till everything else works.
Yeah.
And maybe spend some money, heaven forbid, Tony, whether you need a new transmitter or new flight controller or,
That's it. See, I'm worried about going out freestyling now because you know what I'm like. I fly over the sea with no cares, and now I'm like,
you just gonna have to be like boring empty field, just fly in a circle. Get down old sheep co. And at least if it goes down, you just got to walk in one circle and find it.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. And then once you've flown that half a dozen times, 12 times,
Kick it
and
off.
not had any problems or any weird stuff happen, then go, all right, next model you'd like to fly. Try and get that working.
To be fair, I've been wanting to do that for a while, but it's been raining and cold for months, and now we're in summer. It's 12 degrees and pissing down. I swore again.
Oops. Shit,
You know what I mean? So it's like, go and sit in the field in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a Frank. I took photos. I documented my trip.
Well done.
Because I wasn't busy flying.
With what?
Your
little camera?
I documented my time at Popham, so I took some photos.
Nice. Is this your point and shoot, Jack?
No, it's the iPhone.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
This is a photo of Chris G.
Can I just point out the stickers on the? Can we zoom into the Andy RC pooping stickers holding the plane together?
He had, and there's a "I live my life one lipo at a time" Tony sticker. But yeah, there's HD Zero goggles. So that meant that he was able to see.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got this. He's going to shout at me because I've totally forgotten what this
F-27
wing's
Striker.
called. Striker, yeah. And I mean, it's literally more gaffer tape than plain now. I mean,
How's
there's
the glue
door
set?
hinges.
I remember last year launching it, and the glue never had quite set, and it was a bit squishy and slightly terrifying to throw. But he still did very well.
This is Chris G's battery charger. It is a Eternity AccuCell
Wow.
charger.
So it's a
So
Sky
you
RC B6 then.
Yeah, but knockoff version.
Yeah.
That he's not even using proper banana plugs. They're normal bullet connectors wedged in there to an XTC. I wrote on it, "Love me, Chris, let me die," on this, and it is rubbed off. No, I think it's "let me die." I think was what I wrote. Let me die. Yeah. So I mean, Chris G, amazing pilot. He won. One of my favorite people, but he's so hard on his gear, and I don't know whether that's because he flies loads, and like all my stuff's brand new because I just don't do anything. But he's an animal. He's just got one mode, and that is fly and destroy. So that's an acro what I thought I would show the quad people. This is how
This is a
planes.
plane.
Yeah, this is a plane.
This bit keeps it in the sky. This bit keeps it going fast. This bit keeps it pointing in the right direction.
Yes.
And this bit is the broken area.
This is how. Here is an insight in Chris G's brain. He's just got a plastic bin, and that's where his props are. If he wants 4 of the same prop,
Dig
you've
in
got to
the
go
bin.
digging for it.
Yeah.
It's just,
And hopefully they're not bent.
Well, yeah. This is Wipeout. I can't remember. Like people got assigned launchers, and this one
nice.
guy
I refused.
he like I don't know what's with quad people, but some quad people cannot throw wings. Like he launched it like a frisbee, and it just smacked down on the ground like a manhole cover. And I don't know how that wing kept flying, but I went over there, and the guy was still stood there, and I was just like, no offense. And then I just turned to him. I said, "Look, if you're gonna get a wing launched, I'm launching your wing. So when you go up, come find me." And fair play, he did every time.
I watched a crow open his flapjacks and filmed it.
Yeah.
If you watch my Instagram back on Saturday, you would have seen a crow sitting on his car bonnet, then going down to the flapjacks, whacking it with his head, and then chucking it on the floor and having off with a couple. It's quite funny.
Yeah. But yeah, lovely guy. Refused to go in the fossil tent. I think we were slightly intimidating us lot, but this is
David
Dick Dastardly. And I'm clearly Muttley. He's one of the Kent gobshites. All I get is abuse, insults. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to pin me down and shave me. It's a miracle. If you see this man, run. But he did lend us a glue gun. Because Tony still has trouble with antennas being attached to his receivers.
Yeah, they did.
That's
off.
Chris G. He's
and you decided the
enjoying.
glue gun was the solution to this.
It was our only.
Yeah.
Okay.
This handsome man, he
had to remember 2 tracks: the X-Class track and then the Wing track.
yeah,
Stubbsy.
stubs it. Yep. Somewhere in Wales, a gate was left open, and this escaped. Don't worry, children. It's omnivore. It may have fed. You may be safe. But he's got a lovely wing there. I think it's spec wing, Stubbsy. I don't know. Message me. But still using what I believe to be a Tyrannus.
Looks like it. Apparently, we just got word from Bradley Stewart that the Crow took a pasty as well. So he had a
That Crow loved
face.
us.
Yeah.
This is the inside of the fossil tent. I just kind of thought I'd send upload, share a photo of this. This is the X-Class.
That was Clive's, the one
yeah.
in the foreground.
Yeah, and Tony's even bigger one. And it's a shame that everything that Tony owns turns to dog shit. No matter how hard I try to build it.
And and you had "this is forward" stickers on it. This is backwards. This arm goes in this number 2 to number 2.
It was funny. They were like, "Do you want us to take the arms off it?" And I was like, "Oh no, because then I'll have to remember." And Tony went, "No, they've got numbers written on them." And I went, "Oh yeah, take it all apart." Because I had to go launch a wing. I was like, "Oh yeah, dyslexic fuck," and they all laughed. And then when I come back, it was like some sort of like quad fairies had come down and just dismantled everything for me. That's kind of why I got the record rebuild time in an hour.
Yeah, I think it was an hour.
This, for insurance purposes, has nothing to do with me.
Lithium ions.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a few.
So how many is that? That's like, is that 100?
I don't know, but it's a Radio Master Boxer transmitter bag full of lithium.
It's about 100, yeah.
It is terrifying.
And they're what, 18650s or something slightly bigger?
18650s. You should be familiar with them, Frank.
Ah, those. Are those 18650s? I thought they're slightly longer, but never mind. Doesn't matter.
This was fossil stuff. X-Class.
Why does that ESC have something that doesn't quite line up with everything else? What's going on there?
Was that a cap?
Oh, is that what that is?
Those are caps, right? On the side?
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Now, I mean, there's
that Bernie bit
mark.
that was apparently last time when he went to Wales to fly, a wet leaf got caught on that and shorted it out and caught fire. So it was still all right, so we just put it back together.
Yeah, it is. Okay. They are terrifying. It is some real unbelievable current. We're looking at basically Tony's newest X-Class, but it has a carbon fiber body, and the electronics are bigger. Everything's a higher voltage, and you could just see scorch marks and humongous fets. But some real current going through this stuff, and it's genuinely terrible.
However,
the ESCs are screwed. The wires are screwed.
They've been eye-crimped terminals, and then they're screwed in. He's given up with trying to solder them.
Well, to be fair, I think that at the end of the day, Clive's desoldered his X-Class that he was flying so hard and fast. That's why he's crashed.
It just desoldered itself?
It desoldered. There he is, the man himself.
Is Clive. These are the 1970s Fat Sharks.
Well,
That
I'd
is a
say they're
Tyrannus.
the 1980s, like they
Yeah.
look like they can do like Fat Shark Channel 8. So
I think that's all
Yeah,
they
with
did.
that
They were
module.
fossils.
And
He was
menace,
having problems with them.
antennas.
Joe lent us a Hakko soldering iron, so I was living my best life with the biggest chisel tip known to man. It was amazing. But I mean, these are big batteries, and that is a dinner plate, and that dinner plate is
Nice dinner plate.
dwarfed by the size of the props. Those
You took a
props.
battery apart while we were there as well, didn't we?
Shut up,
Yeah.
Tony. No, there was no such thing.
You took a
Tony
6S
has
to a
been
5S, didn't you?
drinking. No, I have no idea what you're on about. Anyway, moving on. This is unfortunately Clive's.
that's not all in one piece.
That's
Oh,
my
it's
my
yours,
X class. Yeah,
Yours.
that's the damage after 1.5 laps, the first 1.5 laps, and the only 1.5 laps I did that weekend.
But yeah, massive shout out to everyone. Everyone was really generous. Everyone helped out. Everyone was willing to give us parts and screws and cable ties and lend us things.
Nice.
The hobby is very, very much alive, and the camaraderie of fellow pilots just to try and get something in the air. Here is Clive's
Thor.
X-Class, and it's got one of my tiny little LEDs on the back, which I thought was very sweet, so I took a photo of it.
It looks in one piece there, mostly.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that was day 1. Day 2, it was in probably more than one piece.
Yeah. So there you go. There's my little slideshow
Well done, Jack.
to prove that I touch grass.
What were the tracks like out on the grass? Because there's a lot of grass there on the model field at Popham.
Yeah, pretty big, pretty good. Oh, nice.
Tony wouldn't know. He didn't really get around them much.
I went round once, very slowly. But I did walk them as well with Coco and that, just to get some exercise and whatever. But yeah, it's good. It was nice watching the wings. When was it Wipeout? He was really quick, but was he not
Rapid.
consecutive as Chris G? Because he was fast, real fast.
And the amount of laps he could do. Do you know what I mean? Like most people would do like 5, but he would just keep going. At one point, he'd done 7 laps for the time people had done 4.
He was.
It was just like, just no let off whatsoever.
If you click
Just
in the chat, I
consistent.
think Clive's just put a fly through. I think he flew the track, the X-Class track with a 5-inch. So, yeah. And we did have some spectators, 2 little young lads come and had a look. They were into their drone, so they were quite excited to see the big stuff flying around. So we did have spectators.
And Brady's very keen that we. He's very proud of his trophies. Or was it Brady's trophies?
I think it wasn't Brady's. I think Clive done them.
Ah, Clive. Yeah.
Brady said, "Did anyone get a photo of the prop trophy I made?" So you must have made them.
No, but I did give him bits for that.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Well, that definitely isn't the. Who's playing that? That's better.
That was a very interesting opening.
So yeah, left round this one, right round that one, over the back of this and through. So you can't see the rope through these two. Hack it down here. Around this one, this is where I crashed. I think I come through here, give it the beans, and just ploughed into the floor. So I don't know really what happened.
Yeah, about here.
Very odd.
Keep saying what you see. We're flying round the track. Going left a bit, right a bit.
Going back to the start. Oh, you see a rope.
Is that a split S back into the gate? Is that the idea?
It could have been a split S if you wanted to. If I'd have got my confidence up and actually had something to fly, I probably would have ended up splitting S in that, which may have gave me a couple of seconds up. But as I say, Clive has been flying 5-inch and going to comps, so I think he's definitely improved a lot. He was flying, and Orangutan was absolutely nailing it. Yeah, it was good to meet him and the other guys. But shame it was not great for me, but it is what it is.
Are you willing to come
Fly
down
every
and-
drone I own for 5 times round a field, 38 drones
No, just
times
one.
5 in a field. Yeah, I will go out and do it. It's just finding somewhere to do it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, that makes me scared because I haven't flown my 7-inch quad in like, what is it now? Like a few months. I'm like, shit, I gotta have to fly mine so I know that it works.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
go over water.
I wonder how much of it as well is like corrosion or like insulation suffering from oxidation and stuff like that. I mean, because there's UV, temperature, like lots of voltage. I don't know. It's like, it feels like you could end up and vibration as well. Like, it could just be like fatigue and stuff happening, and it's just that when you put it down for ages, like then it can kind of all collect and it all happens in one go.
Yeah, could be that.
But yeah, I mean, the age alone of the Tyrannus.
Well, that's
of,
9 years old.
And it's gone to Texas. It's gone here, there,
Florida.
and everywhere. It's slept outside in a tent in all manner of conditions. It's been just chucked in a bag and
That's if
travelled
it
about.
is the Tyrannus. We don't know that.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
And also, like, part of me's like all the sort of like mismatch of code and firmwares. It's like he's running 3.7.5
Beta flight.
beta flight because that was the best, but then he's running ESCs that were made in 2021.
I think them ESCs are actually 5 years old, probably. Yeah, easy 5 years old, maybe 6.
What, the 12S X-Fast ESCs?
Not them ones. The one on the 4, the 8S. I've had them since day one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Electronics do die. Caps go bad without charge after a while. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go and figure it out, aren't I? Like you say, I'm going to have to go sit in the field, fly one quad 10 times and see what happens.
In theory, like if you put something away that works, it should stay,
work.
but
Yeah.
it should still work. But I don't know.
I'm thinking like the silicone, like couldn't that just sort of get brittle just from age? Like particularly if it's been in a load of sunlight and the high temperatures, and so it's oxidized for a bit, and then if it's just left in a drawer for ages, then that oxygen will just continue eating away at it until it's just really brittle, and then you go out and fly and some vibration then breaks that insulation, and all of a sudden you got bare wires touching up against each other or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, one thing I found is like my receivers for Crossfire, if I leave them for a very, very long time, they lose their bind.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it EEPROM? Is it like got like EEPROM in it, and that like corrupts or something?
I've got no idea.
Or maybe you updated them and forgot to rebind.
No.
Or updated your radio. That's more likely, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did do that.
Well,
He done that to me as well. Everything from that time has gone wrong.
well, the thing is like my Tyrannus didn't even make it over to Edge TX. It was still on like Open TX. So
At the
I was
weekend,
having problems.
I was not on Popham because I was at a
Better
big
than all of us
fancy
scumbags.
stately home. Yeah, exactly. I was seeing how the other half lived, and oh my god! But there was, I don't know what I can really say, but there was a guy there that was flying a heli, like a 3D heli, and had the ESCs from that, and they are chunky. But he was telling me about them. They're not that expensive. Like they take, 80 amps constant, and they're heli ones, so like they deal with a lot of loads changing very quickly, and they're not that expensive. They're like, for ESCs, they're like, I think he said they were like 60 quid. Like that seems like maybe a way to make X-Class stuff a bit cheaper would be to maybe use some heli stuff if we can get that to work.
Yeah.
Sounds like it could be a plan.
Yeah.
Well, I went out and flew on some day. I think it was on not someday, it was Sunday. And I took the Hero 11 Mini off and I put on the Hero 5 Session because I couldn't be asked to back up memory cards that would work with the Hero 11 Mini, and I had like a crappy old memory card with enough space for the Hero 5 Session. And my quad has been fine. It's been great. But then I went back and looked at the footage and I noticed like a bit of kind of like in the GoPro footage, I noticed a little bit of this. Like
found the real truth about your tune.
Well, so I thought. So then I was like, shit, is it my tune? Is it structural? Is it something weird? So I oh no, not you, Siri, go away. So I open up my quad, check to see if the flight controller, like sometimes every now and again, like the gummies that hold the flight controller might like come undone. I don't know. I check them every now and again, and those were fine. Everything was solid, so I put it back down. And then I'm like going through tightening all the screws on the entire quad, and then I look at the bottom, and so you guys, if you've ever had an Apex. The second from the back standoffs are like the half standoffs that hold the antenna or the
antenna mount. Yeah.
Antenna mount. And then there's like the half standoffs on the bottom. Well, it turns out from whenever the hell the last time I ever did any work on my quad, I didn't put the screws back in on the bottom standoffs on my quad. And I'm wondering why I'm seeing like vibrations in my footage. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that would probably do it.
Flapping out in the breeze there, Cole.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. There's supposed to be 2 screws down here, isn't there not? And then I'm like, I wonder where those screws went. So I still have to retest because I didn't actually realize that. So what I looked at my GoPro Hero 5 Session footage from Sunday and I saw that. So then my real sort of like test was, I think on maybe whether it was like Monday or Tuesday or something, what I ended up doing was I put the Hero 11 Mini back on and I have a control basically where I did a flight test with no stabilization like a while ago. And I was looking at that footage, no stabilization with the Hero 11 Mini. I said, perfectly smooth, no issues, no jitter, nothing like that. So, whatever. So then my test on Tuesday or whatever was okay, I'm doing Hero 11 Mini, no stabilization. And again, it still flew great, and it was relatively smooth. But when you zoom in on the footage, yeah, you see a slight little bit of this. So then I'm like, okay, well, these are sort of older props. I hadn't really crashed with them, but like maybe some minor crashes. So then, okay, next I changed my props. Still no stabilization. And then I did that flight. Then I guess I did like a stabilization flight for the third one. It was just a testing sort of thing, but I got it back. There was wobble on the first one with the old props. There was still a little bit of wobble on the second one with the new props. And that's when I discovered that the two screws
You got a screw loose, bruv.
Yeah, literally 2 screws missing. So it was it was a dickhead moment basically, where it's like
We've all
it's
done
weird
it.
though, because I'd been flying that quad like for a while actually, like in like bandos and construction sites and crazy places, and like I mean I've been getting good footage out of it, but yeah, I think that
Bless you,
I don't know,
friend.
man. When I went back and I flew with the Hero 5 session, it felt so good. Like it flew so nice. Like because you're not seeing that stuff in the when I'm flying or whatever, but in the HD cam footage I was. But now that I know those screws are loose, now the real test again is okay. Now the screws are back. Hero 5 session, no stabilization flight, and then compare. That's my next little test.
Back in the day when we didn't have stabilization, you learnt to sort of fly
Back in
around.
my day.
Back in my day, you used to fly around the wobbles. I used to know when.
Back in your day, we had a fucking summer.
We did, but yeah, we used to fly. I used to fly the sessions. I use
Sorry,
them for
mate.
airsoft now, but I used to fly them, and you just be able to know your quads and know, just fly smooth, fly around them.
Feel the grass, not see it.
See it, feel it. It's, I don't know. You'd be able to fly around it, fly smooth. Well, that's what I used to do anyway. And then the Hero 7 or whatever come out, and I was like, oh, for now I don't care.
Have I not spoken about EMF on the show?
No,
I guess I haven't
been
been
away
on
for a very long time.
Yeah.
You keep
I'm going to
going out every
solder
weekend. I
whilst
don't know
I
what's happening.
enjoy some
I know.
EMF talk. Have you got photos?
These 2 screws right here that we're not in, by the way. These little bottom ones right here.
Yeah.
I've done it to a customer at Radio C. Done a flight test. Didn't put all the top plate screws. Terrible. It's easily done.
Yeah, it happens.
Tell us about EMF. Did you fly at EMF?
Yeah, we flew at EMF. So it was one of our listeners emailed in saying, I can't remember who it was. Can anyone remember? Someone emailed in saying, are you flying tiny groups at EMF or doing some FPV stuff at EMF? And I was like, oh yeah, last EMF we did say we should see if we can get hold of, because they so for anyone who doesn't know, EMF is Glastonbury for geeks is one way of putting it. It's been running since 2012, every other year. About 3,000 people come into a field. There's 3 big circus tents, a sort of club area that's built out of shipping containers, a cinema sort of bit. There's a big bar, all sorts of things, and it's just full of people who sort of either hack things or make things or whatever. So there's, up one end of the field, there's like people building a big radio dish and pointing it at satellites and controlling the satellites. And at the other end, at the other end of the field, there's people knitting together a big quilt. So there's like quite a range of things.
I think I'll go to the quilt area in the evening.
And there is just this. It's all volunteer run by people who don't do events as their day job. It's like, and so everyone who goes volunteers for a bit. Basically, it's very good. It's good fun. But yeah, so I'd emailed the heads and been like, can we, like, in the evening when there's no talks going on in the big circus tents, can we have a circus tent to fly some whoops in? And they went, yes, sure. We'll put it in as like all the kind of every little group of people is called a village, and so they were like, we'll put it as a village workshop. Like, great, good. Done as a village workshop. And they were trying to do it, yeah. And then they went, oh, well, the scheduling system doesn't allow us to put village workshops in the big main stages, so we're going to have to schedule it as a talk. But don't worry, it will just be, a village workshop. Like, great, good. But then it ends up on the schedule after Matt Parker on the Saturday evening. There's Andrew Hyams talking for 2 hours about.
Did you go?
Well, slightly. It's a bit concerning, but it's listed up there as "Tiny Whooping the Circus Tents" by Andrew Hyams for 2 hours. I'm like, it's all right. In the description, we explain what's going on. It's fine. But then there's Matt Parker's doing his big, his big show on beforehand. He's like, we've got to keep the time. We've got to, stick to the timing, because after this, they're releasing the drones. Everyone should hang around and watch the drones. I'm like, don't everyone hang around watch the drones. We're expecting like an empty tent, just a big empty tent, and we just want to sort of, dawdle around out with tiny whoops.
Want to get stuck in people's hair and stuff, yeah.
And so like his talk ended, and like some people start leaving, and we're like, great, good. We'll go up to the front, and we'll start setting up and get our stuff ready. And we sort of turn around, and there's still a stage full of people. Like it's still a huge audience. And we're like, oh no, this has gone horribly wrong. And so then we're like, well, we're gonna have to tell people what's about to happen and make sure everyone knows there's going to be some drones flying, and maybe if they don't want to get it caught in their hair, maybe they should move to the edges or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so then it's we have to make an announcement. So someone sort of ended up grabbing the microphone and having to go up on stage, and there's all the lights and loads of people. I have not prepared to talk about this. This has gone horribly wrong. That was very nerve-wracking. And then we managed. Very luckily, we had a guy there called Mikey who actually knew how to fly tiny whoops well. There's a bunch of us there, and we're dawdling around, sort of vibrating around, barely taking off, all that kind of stuff. And there's a guy who clearly races regularly. But yeah, what I haven't explained is we'd borrowed an HD0 event VRX.
Nice.
And I had my Vision mixer to get all the outputs from that and stick it up on the projectors so we could show, live. So people could be waving at themselves on the big screens and everything. And so we very lucky to have Mikey there, who I believe works for Great Scott Gadgets, who make a lot of interesting radio stuff, including the Hack RF, which I took to LDO now. They do some very nice things. I didn't realize this at the time, otherwise I would have pestered him for more information about a lot of stuff. Never mind. He was very good at flying tiny whoops around and showing it off. There was people coming up and talking about all the stuff that they had. There's people that have built big wooden copters. There was talk about tricopters and what flight controller stuff to get those going. Nice. There was a bunch of kids brought their little sort of toy ones that didn't have any video on it, but they were flying those around the circus tents as well. And there was just loads of drones everywhere, and everyone was just sort of wandering in and out and enjoying it. And it
looked cool from all the photos you put on Instagram. I was like, oh, I may go there next time. Is it the same place every time?
For the last few, it has been, and I think they want it to be as well, because they've bought and paid for 40 kilometers of fiber optic to be installed from the nearest town into this field, so that they have
That is so nerdy.
they have something like 40 something gigs worth of internet into the field, and there's a telephone network, there's a power network, there's a internet there. So
there was testicles, there was
yeah,
lasers, there was dancing.
There's a swap shop where you can dump a load of stuff and pick up a load of stuff and sort of pay what you think it's worth to charity. And it turns out that a field full of nerds also had a field full of Geiger counters, and noticed when all of a sudden there was an uptick in radiation in the field because someone had left some smoke detector, like the calibrators for smoke detectors. There were 2 radioactive sources from these calibration machines that they'd left in the swap shop, and it got picked up. And there were some people there that do work at the nuclear power station, and they came and dealt with that. I mean, it wasn't really like no one was going to die, but still, it was like there was enough radiation that people noticed and came and dealt with it.
Was there nerd girls?
Yes.
There was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Something you don't want to speak about there, Frank. Okay, we're chatting the other chat later about that.
But yeah, it's so they've got this permanent fiber running to the field, and it's very cool. They to kind of show the sort of type of people that are there. So there's the bar has all these reusable cups, and there's a deposit with each cup, and so the company that sort of provides those, usually they get like 40-50% return rate of those cups. Here they got like 90 something percent. Like they counted them up at the end, and they're like, what? Who are these people? How have you got a festival to return 90 something percent of the cups? What is wrong with you? There was like if you've seen the end of Glastonbury and you see all the
tents and
all the tents everywhere. And rubbish. There was one tent left behind this time, and within hours, the mass of people had collected like the worked out the tickets, where they'd been, identified their devices, got pictures of where they were. Like they
don't do anything wrong in Nerd City, because we will find you.
Yeah, they put the entire like 2,999 people were rapidly finding out who
they're going to be on the tickets next. They're going to be on the tickets next year.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a very cool event. It's very good fun. Yeah. So yeah, did some volunteering there. It's good fun volunteering. You do meet people. It's good. Nice. Highly recommend it. We will do better at being a bit more presentable to other people with the tiny roots next time. We've got plans. But yeah, I don't want to end up on a stage in front of lots of people without a plan of what to say again.
Yeah,
that's
2 hours.
Yeah,
it's quite scary.
You're just like, look, a distraction. And he's like,
exactly.
Like from the pictures that you posted on Insta was pretty mega.
It is good fun. Very good fun. Yeah.
Has Frank got a female friend, and that's why he's not been around?
He did smile quite massively when
he's not saying anything right now.
I know.
He's blushing.
He's blushing. Big smiles in the chat.
They're not be trying to steal our Frank. We need him.
And then last weekend,
still changing subject,
was at the at Charlton Park with the FPV guys again, the scale FPV guys again. And I got to go on a. So have I shown you my cub? Anyway. It's a slightly bigger cub.
That was his chat up line. Have I showed you my
oh
cub?
my god! With FPV in the cockpit, and I was flying that around the trees there. That is good fun, but it did make me realize, because I also took my race wing. I was flying my race wing around with analog FPV, and then having a go with the DJI on this cub, and oh my god, it just like analog. You don't see anything. Like, you don't see the landscape, you don't see the house, you don't see the trees, you just see blobs. And then you get the DJI and you're like, oh, this is quite pretty.
I can see the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I do need to sort out some kind of digital FPV, but I don't know what to do still, because it's like all the scale FPV have all gone DJI. There's all the sort of local meetups that are all walks now. There's all the racing that's HD0. I
so divided.
I can't justify all of this equipment, and so I don't want any of it.
Well, you don't race, so.
I do the wing racing. That's the thing.
Yes, actually, you do the wing racing, don't you?
And it would be quite nice, as you say, to be able to see where like the guy
see things, yeah.
Like the scraggle.
I don't know what to say.
I did see someone in one of the someone on Discord in one of the groups I'm in. We're selling DJI goggles, like the V2 goggles, the big ones, full set of those with the attachment with a rapid fire for $200 US.
That's good.
And I was like, that's kind of a good deal. Although, like, I don't know the condition of the goggles. I don't know if there's burn in. I don't know if there's whatever. But, I mean, frick, man, if goggles with rapid fire is $200 these days, man, like that's kind of crazy. But it may have been a too good to be true kind of case. But
I mean, I'd invest again in DJI, but. You buy the 3 goggles and the 4 will be out in about a week, and then
that's probably why the super deluxe sale is, because they know that maybe a new set might be out very soon.
Yeah, they do tend to do that, and then you can't buy anything for the old stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we call it there, guys?
Isn't the US banning DJI at the moment? Is it in the courts right this minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the proposed thing right now with the whole anti-CCP act or whatever. I just watched a video about it that this Billy Kyle American guy on YouTube, he does like DJI Mavic style like content.
Yeah, I think I've seen him.
He actually spoke with one of the representatives from DJI America. And I guess they were saying like there's all this whole like anti-CCP act or whatever. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but like the DJI guy was even saying, he's like, our stuff does not report back to China, like the American stuff. And the Billy Kyle guy was kind of showing like he's like, man, when you log in or when you get like he basically did a start to finish, no cut, how to like get a new DJI quad working. It's like you can opt out of basically majority of the sort of like, send information out type of things. Like, and I don't know. He's trying to show like, hey, we need DJI drones. They don't report back to China. And that's what the DJI guy from America was saying too. So I don't know, like the validity of all that. I mean, I'll take it at face value, but from what they're what it seemed like in the video, it seems like this new sort of potential ban that they're trying to push in America, according to these guys, which is obviously very biased, obviously, but they're saying it's not it's not doing what they're saying it's doing. So who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
we had
So.
certain stuff banned over here because of maybe backdoor tech.
Yeah.
Which Boris banned, the Huawei stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which was from China. Apparently there was some backdoor stuff in there from the phones. I don't know. But,
I don't know about you,
yeah.
Topo. I love a bit of backdoor action. Isn't that right, love? Right. And on that note, it's time to end the show. You have been listening to Let's Drone Out. We are supported by our lovely Patreons who are whizzing across the screen as we speak.
Whizzing? Oh no, that is not good.
Yep. They are fantastic. They're great. They support the show. We love you guys. And it stops Frank from wanting to kill us or getting some nerd justice. You have been joined by my darling wife, Tony.
Bonjour.
My buddy, Carl.
See ya.
The man in charge, Andrew Frank.
I don't feel very in charge.
And I'm Brian Telefly. Thank you. Good night. Andy RC's a hoe bag.
Andy RC's in the
Frank
chat.
has a girlfriend. Andrew / Frank has a girlfriend.
Yes. Well, you can tell us in about 2